Screen is visible?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I welcome you all in this High School Connect program. My name is Nupur Anand. I take care of digital marketing and School Connect. Along with me, I have my colleague Afsha Aziz. She takes care of School Connect and University Outreach. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. Thank you for joining us. To start with, starting with Green River College, though I have very little knowledge about this college, but these are some interesting facts which I found. So, college has 10,000 plus student body, more than 75 different degrees and certificate programs, 1,500 international students from nearly 60 countries. It is one of the safest college campus in America and most diverse college in Washington state. From this wonderful college, we have Mr. Ross Jennings.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Currently working as Senior Director, International Admissions. Good morning, Mr. Jennings.
Good morning.
The school which we have today, again, I'm giving you a very brief about this school. Garima will tell you about the school in detail later. So the school is known as one of the best schools in Hyderabad, founded in 1995. It is CBSE affiliated board school. A school also focuses on international dimensions to education and won International School Award by British Council. From this wonderful school, we have this Garima Srivastav working as school counselor, Meridian School, Madhapura branch. And unfortunately, Dr. Sachdeva is not feeling well, so she couldn't be with us today. We'll surely pass all the information to Garima so that she can share it with her. So just to give you a very quick brief about UniBrijj, we work as regional international office. We support universities through tailored student recruitment services like Virtual Connect, which we are doing today, dedicated in-country advisor, digital marketing, student recruitment tour, and other support functions. That's it from my side. Once again, I thank you all for joining us. Now I would request Mr. Jennings to take this forward from here. And I'm making you presenters so that you can share your screen. Over to you, Mr. Jennings.
That sounds great. Well, thank you very much, and thank you again, all of you, for being part of this. I've got a bit of a presentation I would like to show you, if I may, that might bring a little bit of, hopefully, light to our situation here. Let me just get the right screen. Here we go. I'll give you a brief description of our college and our system. First of all, our system is what's called a 2+2 transfer university system. I'm going to explain a little bit about how that works and mention that it's not an old system in the States. It actually started about 1946, so it's been going on for quite some time, but it's unique to United States and Canada, and other countries don't have that. So it's a bit of a mystery, and I'll explain it in just a moment. This is our college, and Nupur, thank you very much for explaining the basic details about it. We've already done that, so I won't need to do it again. We're in Washington State, in a suburb of the city of Seattle. And here's a picture of Seattle that I took 2 weeks ago. It's a beautiful place. People come and they marvel at the beauty. The educational system I'll outline here, I think all of you are pretty familiar with it because it's not really a whole lot different from, a little bit different from the Indian system in that we have a 12-year high school program. We don't have between 12th and 13th year, and then a 3-year university system. We have a K-12 through 12th grade. At the end of 12th grade, students get their high school diploma and take either SAT or ACT exam for the college. We don't have mixed exams in different subjects, so it's just one exam that students have a choice of, one or the other. But it's a comprehensive exam, both for science and liberal arts sides. Then we have, for university, we have 2 divisions. We have the lower division, in which students take a number of general education requirements outside their major, as well as major classes. Then in the 3rd and 4th year, they take what is called upper division classes, which is entirely in their major. So out of the 4 years, students take about 1 year equivalent of general education requirements, which are largely their choice, however, in specified areas. So a science major, for example, let's say an engineering student, would be taking art, music, history, things outside their major, as well as their major classes. And our advantages for getting into a top university is that we can help students get into a great school. We've been doing that now for international students for a little over 30 years. The cost is quite a bit lower than a university tuition because unlike the universities in the United States, the two-year colleges, also known as community colleges, don't do research. And so they save a lot of money in cost and expense by having their teachers concentrate on teaching and not on research. And the admission is also easier because the SAT and ACT scores are not required to get into a two-year college. So this is transfer, basically. Transfer, briefly put, as you can see here, there are two kinds of admission to American universities. The first is conventional, somewhat similar to India, where students go on to university right out of high school. And about 60% of our American students do that. The other 40% do what's called 2+2, where they take the 2 years of university classes that are identical to the leading university of their state, but they take them in a 2-year college. And then they take those 2 years of education and transfer to university and finish another 2 years at the university in years 3 and 4. And as I've said, it started in the 1940s. I put the transfer system next to the conventional system that we started with a couple of slides ago to show its difference. Basically, the difference starts in high school, where students do not require to take the SAT or ACT. They go on to a 2-year college like mine and take their lower division classes there. Again, the classes they take are identical to those offered in the leading university. So if they take Physics 101 at University of Washington or at Green River College, they're taking exactly the same class. And the universities then are confident that if students finish 2 years of the university education at my school, they're ready for year 3. And years, in fact, decades of testing have shown that's exactly correct. Students coming from a 2-year college do just as well at the university level as 4-year students. The cost savings are considerable because, again, the 2-year colleges do not do significant research. And typically at a university like University of Washington, about 1/3 of the faculty are doing research at any one time, usually on paid leave to do their research. And there's a lot of other research costs as well. The colleges don't have those costs, so they save a lot of money, which they pass on to their students. And this compares tuition at different universities in the United States. Our tuition annually is about $10,000 US. Compare that to one of the cheaper types of universities, the California State University system, like San Jose State, are about double that. And when you get onto the University of California branches like Berkeley, it's 4 times that. And so you can see the expense savings is considerable. And so if students can do a 2+2 program where they do 2 years at Green River and then 2 years at university, they wind up with exactly the same degree, but they save a lot of money in doing so. This is a little bit of information on how universities accept transfer students. Basically, all of the public universities easily accept transfer students. Most of the privates do as well. In fact, almost all of them do. However, your Ivy League schools like Harvard and Stanford only take a few. And so we have students, in fact, at all of these Ivy League schools right now, but as graduate students. These would be students that might have gone to UC Berkeley or Michigan as undergrads, as transfer students, then got into Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge as graduate students. Here are our top ranked transfers to which Green River students have already transferred. And you can see Berkeley, Columbia, Washington, et cetera, are on the list. Sydney in Australia, UBC, and Toronto are on the list as well. We have quite a few students now going to both Toronto and UBC from Green River as 2+2 transfer students. This is a more complete list of universities to which our students go. It's also a partial list. We have about 300 universities to which our students go, but these are the most common transfers for our students. And you can see the list is quite extensive. One reason they go there, in addition to good education background that they get at our college, we have an extensive advising system in which every student gets their own personal international student advisor and starts out with a class plan and transfer plan from the very first quarter. And so, in fact, I used to do that myself. I was an advisor also, and kind of built the program. So a student early on can tell us, this is my major, these are my dream universities. I'm planning to go to, if I can, Berkeley, USC, Washington, and maybe a couple of other schools. We'll work out a plan for them from the very beginning. And so these are the requirements to get in. This is what the GPA looks like. These are the classes you need to take to get into those schools. Their requirements vary a little bit from school to school, but not a lot. And so normally we can work out a class plan where students will transfer anywhere from 80% to 100% of their classes to their target university, so long as they have the GPA to get in. We've been doing that again now for 30 years, so we're good at that, and we can guide students properly to the right university. The question we often have is, are university transfer guaranteed? Well, as long as a student gets our 2-year associate degree, the answer is yes. And one of the reasons for that is our students, in order to get a associate degree, need to get a 2.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. And most of our students exceed that by quite a lot. However, even students that are are low students and get a 2.0, we have transfer agreements with 40 different universities by which a 2.0 is good enough to get into 10 of those 40 schools. Here's just a quick look at some of the schools that are on our list. They range from Oregon to UC Irvine, a couple of branches of University of Washington, etc. And these are the GPAs required for automatic admission. Cincinnati, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Eastern Washington, several others are 2.0. And so a student that gets that quite low, actually, GPA can get into those schools guaranteed. If you can see the bottom right, our Green River International student grade point average median is 3.4. So most of our students do quite a bit better than that. And you can see a range of other pretty good schools like Baylor, Arizona, Arizona State, Oregon, Iowa, are all part of our, UC Riverside, are all part of our guaranteed admission program. Most of our students, as I've said, do better than that, but they do have that to fall back on if they need it. One other thing that our university guarantees do is students at the time of admission can choose one of those 40 as a target guaranteed admission university. And as part of our agreement with those universities, the university will issue a letter of conditional admission to that student at the same time that we do. And so a student will get not only the admission letter from Green River, they get their I-20 for visa purposes, but they'll also get a letter from a university like University of Arizona or Iowa or whichever they pick. And that then gives them assurance that for sure they can get into the university once they finish with us. We found this also helpful for visa purposes because sometimes even our own US consulate officials don't know community colleges very well. And so when they see our Green River admission, they see our I-20, they also see a letter from, let's say, University of Arizona in that student's name, they feel comfortable. Here's some of our graduates. Nayan Sharma graduated in aviation. He worked a number of years in the United States in the aviation industry, and now he's back in New Delhi, in fact, working for a large company there. Another student from Centerpoint Schools, one of our partner schools in Nagpur, went to University of Illinois, and he's now working also in the United States. Here's what I call Green River Indian moments. 2 of our students receiving advising on getting into top universities. This is me at our Centerpoint School in Nagpur. We try to make it to India once every 2 or 3 years, and certainly would hope to do so if the virus calms down this winter. More graduates. This young lady, although she's a Singapore citizen, she's from India initially and went to Columbia. Another one of our students, a Centerpoint student, student again, went to the top US university in the subject of journalism and was in fact the editor of our school newspaper. Sometimes our kids get hungry, and a lot of the boys aren't very good cooks, so we'll go out for dinner every once in a while. We have a very strong Punjabi community in our area, and a strong Sikh community also. And so there's lots of good restaurants around to take our kids to. And so they're usually pretty happy to get a bite of home. And here's two more of our graduates. We do have at our two-year college 4-year degrees, which are relatively new. They're called Bachelor of Applied Science. We have them in 7 different subjects. So Aman Singh, who also worked in our office, was one of those students. He had initially been graduated from our college and went to Seattle University in their IT program. And our IT BAS degree opened up, so he came back to explore and found that it was taught by some of the same teachers he had had in our 2-year program and really liked the teachers. And so he left Seattle University and came back to us and finished his 4-year BAS degree with us and had a great experience, and now is working also in our area. We have, in addition to the transfer program, we have something unique to Washington State. It's called the High School Completion Plus or Double Degree Program. And it's based on a program called Running Start that started in Washington State in 1993. This young lady from China is an example of that. She didn't finish high school in China. She got her high school degree, her diploma, as well as her 2-year associate degree from Green River. Went on to UC Berkeley for her bachelor's degree and now is studying at University of Melbourne in business as her master's degree. And this is how the program works. Basically, I'll save you the trouble of reading, but in 1993, Washington State started the program. The concept was some students could do better in college and didn't need to finish high school. And so they took college classes at the college like Green River and double credited those college classes for high school completion requirements. So they didn't really have to take high school classes at all. They simply went to college 1 or 2 years early and graduated with a bachelor's degree also 1 or 2 years early. As you can see, 5 states have created their own Running Start program. And Washington State is the only one that has applied that to international students. So we have students coming from other colleges and universities in the United States also, as well as high schools, coming to our college specifically to take our double degree program. And it's a little complicated in the slide, but if you look to, excuse me, the 3rd slide, option 3, you'll find that students can come into our program after grade 10. They don't need to finish grade 11 or grade 12. They can come directly and do that. And so they wind up finishing our 2-year degree at the same time that most students would finish their high school degree. Then they're able to go on to the university in the equivalent of age 13, year 13 and 14, and finish with their bachelor's degree 2 years early. We now have, of our almost 1,300 international students, about 40% are in that program. And their grade point average is identical to that of our other students. So they do quite well. One of the reasons I think that it works is that, although I'm an American citizen, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that our science and technology classes at the high school level are lagging other systems, including India, by about 2 years. So what students learn in 10th grade in India, Japan, China, generally speaking, is a little bit higher than it is in the United States. So students that have this background from Asia and subcontinent do fine in the next classes, in the college level classes with us. I'm going to show you next in a little bit more detail how this system works. It always takes, especially parents, a little bit by surprise that a student could really get into take college classes early. How does this work? And I'll show you here that here's from one of our Taiwanese students, the actual classes that he took. And you can see in year one, he took a number of classes in blue that give double credit for high school and college both. He only had to take one actual high school class. The rest were college level classes. And so he finished his high school diploma after the first year. This is important for transfer because some universities, although not most, require students to have a high school diploma in hand in order to apply for transfer admission. Most universities don't, but the notable exceptions are University of California. So in order to transfer to University of California branches like Berkeley, UCLA, etc., you have to have finished high school. And so students who finish high school in year one can then apply during their second year and get into those universities as a high school graduate. And here's some of the help that our advisors offer. As I've said, it's extensive. Class selection, advice on transfer, advice on how to write a proper essay, lots and lots of things that our advisors provide both in groups and individual. So here's an example of a couple of our high school completion plus students. You can see that this student from Indonesia got into Purdue, great school for engineering, and had his choice between two colleges and chose Green River so that he could come to us at the age of 16. Here's one of our girls from Korea that did the same thing. She got into William and Mary, very good school, and again came to us so she could graduate early. Here's a third student, this one from China, that did the same thing. His major was architecture, and he went into Rensselaer, which has got a great architecture program. Then was able to get into Harvard University as a master's student just last fall, a year ago. And so, as you can see, his comments were very positive about Green River. He said, imagine me, I didn't even finish high school in China. I finished at Green River and got into Harvard as a master's student. He said, how about that? I went, yes, indeed, how about that? We're pretty proud of him. So here's Green River. The young lady on the left you've already seen. She's the Indian lady from Singapore that went to Columbia. These three were roommates, and so they graduated together. We have Mamta on the left from Singapore. We have Kiki from Netherlands in the middle. We have Cheryl from Hong Kong on the right. Cheryl went to a really good art school in Maryland. And Kiki, her story is interesting because it probably tells you kind of how we do things at Green River. We're kind of a special school. We offer a lot of support to our kids. And I think it's probably pretty similar to Meridian, where you get great students to start with, I think. We get students who, in some cases like Mamta, were brilliant students and would have done well anywhere they went. Cheryl, I would say pretty much the same thing. Kiki was different. She came from Netherlands on our gap year program, basically to study for anywhere from 3 to 9 months and kind of get her feet on the ground and find out what she wanted to do when she grew up. Her first month at Green River was miserable. She missed her family so much. She missed her language. She went through a severe culture shock and lived with one of our host families. It was great. So they got her through that. And I remember talking to Kiki. I said, oh, you poor girl, you must want to go home. She said, oh, I want to go home so bad, but I'll stay for a month and see what happens. So she did. She persevered and had no real plans, but found her way while she was at Green River. And eventually got her bachelor's degree at a university in Minnesota, got a master's degree also from that university, and now has gotten a full scholarship for a PhD program at Arizona State University. And so we talk to her fairly often as one of our success stories. Unlike Mamta, who would have been great anywhere, Kiki became a student leader and a really focused young lady through, in large part, advice and support she got from her school. Here's our basic programs. You've already seen 2+2 transfer and double degree, so I won't waste any of your time on that. Our Bachelor of Applied Science, I mentioned briefly. We have 7 degrees, 2 in IT, 2 in business, and the others, where students can go on and get their 4-year degree with us. it's pretty new. It started about 4 years ago, and it's been very popular. So students now actually have a choice. If they're in those subjects, they can go on to a top university, which most of our students continue to do, or they can stay at Green River and enjoy lower tuition and enjoy the teachers they've already had for the most part and get their bachelor's degree. We have college prep English for students who don't have TOEFL or IELTS. About 40% of our students start in that language program. The gap year program I mentioned Kiki had, and that's where students, particularly from Europe, but really from anywhere, that really don't know what they want to do can come and take classes in different areas and get different experiences. Vocational programs we have as well. I don't really recommend them for Indian students because you can get vocational education of a high level in India also at a much lower cost. And we have partner school programs with overseas schools, one being Centerpoint School in Nagpur. We don't have any other partner schools in India, although we'd love to have them. We have quite a few in China, quite a few in other countries as well. So that's something that we'd like to explore. For the COVID, we have something called Online Now, In Class Later, where students can get started online, take a complete set of classes, get assigned to an advisor, have Skype and Zoom conversation with their advisor to make sure they get the right classes they're set to go. Then hopefully soon, when classes resume face-to-face, they can come as a regular student. So they can actually save money right now by not having to go to the expense of flying anywhere or living overseas. And they can also be virtually assured of getting a visa as an actual Green River student registered to the college rather than a more random student coming from someplace else that might have a more difficult time getting a visa. So we've had actually quite a few students do this. They've said, we'd like to get started. We know that it's still kind of touch and go with face-to-face classes this fall. It's looking more and more like we're not going to have them. So students can get started with this online presence now and get a full set of classes to go. These are our most popular transfer majors, basically virtually everything. You can see the top 3 are business, IT, engineering, hotel management, aviation are very popular as well. Architecture is up there, almost everything. In terms of living, students can live in the dormitory or a host family. Students are, typically it's 50-50. Some students prefer the experience of a host family, having home-cooked meals, the getting to know the family well. If their English is not quite up to par, having 24-hour experience living in an English language environment. You can see this cute picture to the left. That's one of our girls who came from Malaysia, and the mom and her 2 cute little daughters, who've kind of grown up since then, met her at the airport. So admitted right at the very beginning, they were fast friends. And you know, I assure you that when Zen graduated and went on to a good university, there were tears galore at their parting. We also have a really nice dormitory, which is right across the street from campus. And so students that don't want to, you know, take a bus to campus or a short walk can live in the dorm and have that very close experience. In terms of admission, our admission standards are relatively low. You can see what they are for grades. The secret sauce of Green River is really not admission, but rather what they get once they're at their college. They get a lot of attention and they have lots of guidance as far as how to be successful in college, how to get the right classes, how to transfer, etc. And it works great for the vast majority of our students. Finances, about $21,000 US per year, counting living expenses. The age, because we have our double degree program, 16 or higher. We have special host family accommodations for 16-year-old kids, which are over and above what we offer to other kids. It's because we realize that students that young need special looking after. Academic admission, TOEFL 61, IELTS 5.5, Duolingo 90. Any student coming from a school like Meridian would have long since passed that. But even in India, we do have some students whose English is not quite up to snuff. So That's what we require. We have our English program for those that don't have that. And for academic, 10th grade or higher, depending on taking double degree. Our deadlines are 4 times a year, basically about a month and a half before the classes start. Our application turnaround is 5 working days. And here's some of our Green River International Program staff having a picnic lunch at my house. So if any of you would like to come over and visit, come in the summer and we'll have a nice barbecue. We also do veg. Links, me, end of presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jennings, for a wonderful presentation. And
Thank you.
I hope Garima would have enjoyed it and would have like understood each and every part of it. Garima, may I request you now to speak a little bit about the school so that Mr. Jennings will get to know more about Meridian Madhapur?
Yeah.
Great.
Hi, Jenny. Your presentation was really nice. And you can stop sharing the screen so that we can see each other.
Certainly, let me do that. Here we go. Very good.
Yeah. So our school, let's talk about our school. It is 25 years old school. And we believe, our vision and mission is to, give the holistic development for the child. And we believe in the learning should like that, learning by doing. So we give lot of do a lot of experiments in the school, lot of we give exposure to our children. And we actually believe that if the children are grounded, they know their values, their culture, so they can go anywhere and they can work anywhere, they can study anywhere. So this holistic approach, giving them a lot of benefits for their future, to learn more, to go to new countries, to study more about other countries also. After seeing your presentation, many of the students in our school, they prefer going outside to learn more. So, but one thing, if we are looking for the tie-ups and all, what are the benefits if we do the tie-up like from your college? So what will be the benefit for our Meridian students? And is there any scholarship are you going to provide to our children? Something like that, some provision is there?
Good question. Our primary benefits are upgrade university. If a student, for example, were to get into a medium quality university overseas, either in the UK or Australia, the United States, we can upgrade that. And so our students do 2 years with us and wind up qualifying for top universities pretty much all over the world, but especially Canada and the United States. So if a student were to go leave Meridian school and go to Oxford, for example, we would not stand in their way. Good for them. If on the other hand, they were going to a lesser ranked university and they aspired to a better one, then we have the program to help them do that. The benefit we also have, we have modest scholarships. We have really nothing large. We have anywhere in the range of $200 to $500 scholarships, which are more honorific scholarships to recognize the quality of well-qualified students. Our scholarship equivalent, however, is tuition. And so our tuition is low, at about $10,000 per year. The comparison that I gave to other universities, for example, University of Toronto, which has become very popular for our students, is about $40,000 US per year. And so even if Toronto were to give a scholarship of, let's say, $5,000 or even $10,000, that's still $30,000 a year. Ours is 10. And so the equivalent of a scholarship, actually much better than equivalent of scholarship, is a considerable savings in tuition. However, we do work with schools and we recognize that a lot of students want a scholarship of some kind, even if the monetary value is not great. We're happy to work with the school and with our partners like UniBrijj to identify those students and give them something. It could be $200, it could be $500. It's usually not very much, but it comes with a very nice letter of congratulations. And it's always nice for a young man or young woman to say, I got a scholarship.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Quite
Certainly.
interesting. And one more thing, like, this year, because of this COVID situation, you said that the classes will be there for online classes. So are
Yes.
you giving some discount in the first year? I know your cost is pretty low, but then also, just to tell the parents that because the new online classes, so are you going to give us some discount?
Well, unfortunately not. Again, our tuition is pretty low, and it basically enables us to recover our teaching costs. I know University of Southern California is given a $4,000 discount in online classes. And that brings our tuition from $59,000 per year to $55,000 per year.
Okay.
Well, that's really not much of a discount. Another university have done more or less the same thing. So we feel that our existing low cost is good enough to make students get a real bargain, actually, for their classes.
Yeah, pretty good. Sounds good. And I like the presentation. Maybe I'll just, talk to Afsha. If you can present it for our students, maybe I can arrange, one orientation for my parents as well as students, so that, they'll also get an idea. And this 2+2 years program, this is something quite interesting. And they should know about the program, many of them, those who are interested, so they can, go for it. So I will be in touch with Afsha and UniBrijj and Nupur, and maybe we'll plan out something. I will also, schedule some meeting with my principal, and I'll talk to them, and then we can have some, orientation for my parents also.
We'd be honored. We'd be honored. And as I've said, if if COVID dissipates in the winter, I'd be happy to come and make that presentation personally. I've been to Hyderabad several times, and it's an absolutely stunningly beautiful city.
I do agree. It's a beautiful place, and the weather is also very good. So yeah, maybe because of this COVID, you are not able to come. But whenever you get chance, please do come and visit our school also.
That'd be great. May I ask a couple of questions about you and your school?
Oh, yes, please.
I note that you have three branches.
Yes.
Banjara Hills, Madhapur, and Kathakpally, all in really nice areas. I know that Madhapur is in high-tech city, so you've got lots of really smart.
Our branch is located near high-tech city. Banjara Hills, and Kukatpalli is quite, close to each other, and it's
Okay. Do you have a main branch, or are all of them about the same?
See, the mother branch, if you can say that, it is Banjara. And then ours is the second branch, Madhapur. But we have a very, large, area and the ground. We have cricket ground in our school. We have football ground. We have tennis ground. So ours is the biggest area-wise, you can say. And ours, everywhere. If you talk about Banjara Hills, and the parents and the lobby is different. We have a lot of IT background people, parents here, because very close to high-tech city. Banjara Hill, maybe lots of businessmen, they, because that locality is there. So that's how, this is the only difference. Otherwise, we follow the same pattern. Our academics and everything we follow for all the three schools. We have one academic coordinator who design everything for all the three schools, activities and everything. So everything is same.
Sounds great. Well, good. I'd like to book a place for my 3-year-old grandson.
Welcome, most welcome.
Well, let him grow up a little bit first.
I will give you my website, link. You can go through, just have a look of our, website.
Well, I've already done that. It looks like a great school.
We have already shared, Garima.
Oh, is it?
It looks like not only a great school academically, but a happy place.
Happy place. This is something, that our vision and mission is this connecting the mind and the heart. So here in our school, everybody has a freedom. Our principal is so free that anytime anybody can come, anybody can share their views. Even the parents are free to come. They share their things, and we, keep on talking to them. So that friendly atmosphere, what we have in our school, I feel like, we have many other schools here in Hyderabad, but the kind of atmosphere what we give to our children and teachers, it is quite comfortable.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. That makes
our school is this.
Well, I feel like we're kindred spirits in many respects, because we try to do more or less the same thing. You know, we push our kids to be good students, but like the story with the young lady from Netherlands, we really care about our kids, make sure that they do well and go on. So just yesterday, I was talking to one of our graduates in the UK, an Indian Brit who went to our college and went to University of Utrecht in Netherlands, and now is working in the UK. And he talked about the different schools, and he said, you know, you guys were the best. You cared.
Thank you.
And yeah, I can see that you do that as well. I can see that very clearly. So if it works for your benefit and it works to the benefit of your students, as I've said, we're a great launching pad to get students into top universities. And we've been doing that now for 30 years.
Yeah.
So our track record speaks for itself. And although a 2+2 concept is quite foreign, I think, to India,
Yes.
it works great. And so I'd be very, very pleased to talk to parents or students if you were to set that up and explain how our program works. And you know, I was sharing with Afsha Nupur's story a couple of years ago. I was in China and I was explaining our program, and one of the mothers stood up and said, "Ross, we have agencies in China," and I said, "I know, and India too, and they're all over the map. They range from organizations like UniBrijj that I trust and do the right thing to utterly untrustworthy scum that promise the moon and charge a lot and get you nowhere." And so this mother said, "Ross, you told me about your double degree program where a student doesn't really need English because you have an English program." I said, "Yes." The grade point average is not terribly important. We said, "Yes," because we give so much when students get here. "You can get a degree 2 years early." "Yes." "And go on to a top school." "Yes." We said, "Ross, a year ago, an agent told me the same thing, and it was all lies. I spent thousands of dollars US to go to to do this program that was complete crazy. Why should I believe you?" Fortunately, in attendance to that meeting was one of our top agents in China, who happens to be the mother of one of our students, who did that, her daughter. And so her daughter went to us, graduated a year early, went to University of Washington for a bachelor's degree, Georgetown University in DC for her master's, is now getting a PhD degree at American University, also in Washington, DC. And she said, "Well, perhaps I could explain from a mother's perspective how that works." I went, "God, I'm glad you're here." Because it does seem too good to be true, to be honest with you. Yet it's been working out for 30 years. And so I realize that it's a different system, but I'm happy to explain that to the best of my ability, should there be an opportunity to do so.
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward so that, to have one session with my parents, they will also get an idea. And thank you, Afsha and Nupur, for arranging this meeting. And
Completely our pleasure.
Yeah, wonderful presentation. Maybe we'll get in touch, for the tie-ups and all, if there is something, what are the paperwork, what are the things Mr. Jennings is looking for. You just let us know. From our side, we will also do the same. And maybe we will have one meeting, Afsha, with you and Nupur, with Principal Ma'am, regarding this presentation. And then we can go ahead with the program.
Yeah. And please give your principal my regards and tell her that I hope she feels better.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Okay.
We were actually, we were discussing yesterday that we have to attend this presentation, and she was also very excited. But, every day she's going to school, and, 8 to 5, she's there in the school. I think she has got a little bit of hectic.
Certainly. I understand.
Exhausted, yeah.
I hope it wasn't me. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate Garima, and we'll look forward to being in further touch.
Sure. Same here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Every doubt has been cleared now. Do you have any kind of doubt regarding the 2+2 or dual degree?
A wonderful presentation, Afsha. Thanks to you. What I was looking for He has given everything in every slide, he has mentioned everything what we were looking for. So at least now, after talking to you, I got an idea about 2+2. Now, if the third person will see this presentation, they will also get to know about what is 2+2.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's actually, I was looking for this clarity.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your taking out time. Good day, Mr. Jennings, and good night, Garima. Good night, Nupur.
Good night.
Okay,
Good
take
night,
care.
Ms. Jennings. Good
Bye-bye.
night, Garima. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.